Among the list as well this afternoon, and if he's needed and called upon, he certainly won't let the team down. There's Derek, he's number 19. Sean McGrath's number 21, and he was a sub also in 99, made a huge contribution, hitting 3 points and sharing 9 among Cork scorers that day as they last beat Kilkenny. James McGarry then, the number 1 for Kilkenny, his 4th All-Ireland final, hoping to keep Cork out. How will it pan out? Lots to talk about still as we go back for final comments now to our panel and to Michael.
Thanks indeed, Ger. You know, the Cork team came out there, Michael Duignan, in the middle, or not the middle, the end of the presentation of the captains. It looked a bit rude. Now, in actual fact, they came out on the time that they were due out. I think it points up how almost scientific the preparation is, down to the minute stuff for both teams going into today's match.
Yeah, everything is down to the minute. When you're ready to go in a dressing room and like there's nothing going to stop you, you want to get out in the field. And Cork came out like a train there. You know, they look very pumped up and fired up. Kilkenny came out much more relaxed there after them. But as you said, there's nothing left unturned. Everything is planned to the minute, and you don't want anything that throws you off. Even waiting in the dressing room for an extra 60 seconds, it just disrupts your concentration and your preparation. That just wouldn't happen.
And as well as that, Cork have a routine they go through on the field.
These famous cones that are on the field.
A lot of teams do the warm up before they come to Croke Park. These do the warm up on the field. There's the cones down. They do a puck around. They do a bit of stretching there, and they need a certain amount of time for that.
Yeah, we might get a look at those. We might get a look at those cones and just the warm-up process that our Cork are going on with behind us here at the moment, gentlemen. It's all very much laid out in a very specific order. Here you can see it yourself. The entire warm-up process that the Cork team are going through with their trainer. This is what they've done, of course, the semi-final, the Munster final and so on. So why not do it today? Yeah,
it's a well-practiced routine by Cork, and I think in the day of the semi-final they came out a bit late and the Tain Boys band cut across their routine, and I don't think they were too happy about it. So they're out in time today. They're going to go through the whole routine. Everything is planned to the last second, and I'll tell you, Donald O'Grady is so well organised that he wasn't going to allow what happened the last day going to happen again.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for the moment. Now let's briefly meet this year's captains. Well, the man who led Cork out this afternoon comes from a well-known hurling family from the Black Rock region of Cork City. Kilkenny's captain this year is, of course, one Dennis Joseph Carey.
The mood in our camp at the moment is very, very good. I mean, there's, you know, we not only do the public have expectations of, we've great expectations of ourselves, and you know, I don't think this Cork team will be found wanting. You know, I mean, if we're beaten, we're going to be beaten, but I don't think we're going to be beaten because we're going to put in bad performance. I mean, everybody's up for it.
Have you thought at all about leading the Cork team out into an All-Ireland final as the captain?
No, but what I've really been thinking about is kind of leading him back off the field with Liam McCarthy in my hand. But you know, it's a huge honour, but it's going to be a team effort. But the players just have to remember and concentrate, and especially with a team like Kilkenny, we really have to be on our toes. I mean, they've been a farm team over the last number of years, and they're going to be very, very difficult to beat.
It's a dream that's becoming reality. You know, certainly I have 4 All-Ireland medals, and I'd love to have the 5th, and maybe being captain of the team is a great honour. But you know what I'm saying now is I want to try and achieve as much as I can. You know, a few years ago, 92, 93, I was 22 and had won 2 All-Irelands. You know, I'm now 32, having won 4. So you'd imagine 10 years on, you'd be thinking of 7 or 8 All-Irelands with the team we had, but that doesn't work out that way. And you know, from my own point of view and being realistic, I'm not going to have that many more opportunities to win All-Ireland. So you have to try and take them as you get them. So yes, you're looking at it and saying, you know, I'm going for my 5th All-Ireland. I want that 5th All-Ireland as well, but there's a tremendous amount of luck needed along the way to get that.
Yes, the team's just being introduced to the crowd here at Croke Park at the moment, and significantly, Michael Duignan, the biggest cheer of the 2 teams, went for DJ Carey. It's been a rough week for DJ Carey. Will this impact today, do you think, on him?
Obviously, it's been going on maybe for a while now, and he's maybe a little bit off colour the last few matches, but knowing DJ, he's mentally very strong. He'll put that to the back of his mind during the match, and he's around an awful long time. If he was a younger, more inexperienced player, you know, but I don't think really, just when you commented on it, I don't think the papers or anything should have commented this week. You know, it's a big week for him, and it's his own personal life. You know, it's happening every day of the week all over the country, and it's no one's business. And I don't really know why the papers had to bring it up this week, but DJ will put that away to the back of his mind, and it'll make no bearing, I think, on his performance.
He certainly knows he has the support of everybody here at Croke Park today, obviously, after that cheer, Ger.
Sure, and he has not alone everybody here, Michael, but all over the country, all supporters, all people who have no interest in sport or no interest in hurling. He has the support of all those. But I think that's all put aside now. Brian Cody is brilliant at handling situations like this, and the support DJ gets from everybody, you know, from his family, from teammates, from everybody. I think that he'll have pushed that aside. What now matters now, 15 minutes to go, is the ball and the game that's coming up, and that's what we're all here for, you know. And I suppose it has been analysed to death in the newspapers, in the radio, and everything up to now.
Well, you have only 15 minutes left now to add your little piece to it once more.
All I would say for people watching it is a few things to watch out for.
Yes.
How will the Cork full back line cope with the lethal Kilkenny full forward line? Cork full back line have conceded 8 goals in the last 3 games. Now, if they start controlling those, things could be swinging Cork's way. The other line to watch is the Cork half forward line, who scored a miserly 3 points against Wexford in the drawing game. Now, and not alone, if they don't win ball there, they'll starve their great full forward line of possession. But as well as that, they'll allow the Kilkenny half back line to cover for or to protect their full back line, because I think the Kilkenny full back line is vulnerable if fast low ball goes in, and Jodine Satanta and Alan Brown will take advantage of that. And the last thing to watch before I finish and hand over to Michael here is Henry Shefflin and Ronan Curran. Ronan Curran playing brilliantly, young man in his first All-Ireland. Henry drew a massive game. Those are the clashes, just a few of the clashes, but just a few pointers on what to watch out for today.
A lot of people are saying that Cork will hit the ground running coming out here today, that they'll tear into this game from the start. I can't see Kilkenny just exactly ambling through the first 10 or 15 minutes either, mind you.
No, I'd say it'll be fairly saucy stuff, all right, but just taking on from what Ger said, I think the Cork if Cork their half-forward line is the key. First of all, winning primary possession from puckouts, which you'd say now it's very hard to see them winning. Where's Donald Cusack going to puck the ball out to? So they may have a plan for short puckouts or something like that. But the next thing, the half-forward line, when they get the ball, they have to move it in quicker. They're running with the ball far too much. Ben O'Connor's a super player, but runs with the ball, and it's frustrating at times for the inside line. And he's closing down their space. And like JJ Delaney, you won't run away from them. So I think if they move the ball quickly there, they have a great chance, because is it David Beckham and Jodine? No, it's Satanta Halpin and Jodine.
Oh, yeah. You're watching a farm station. Don't be watching those farm stations.
Satanta and Jodine are the key men for Cork. But up the other end of the field, Kilkenny have a plan. They say John Hine is not there to score. Henry Shefflin, great man to win possession. They can bring Martin Comfort out to win puckouts. So I think that's where Kilkenny have the big advantage. James McGarry can puck the ball out anywhere. Donald Cusack is going to be looking, where am I going to puck the next ball? Because I think Kilkenny will dominate them in the air.
Yeah, it's because of all this, and also because it's Cork and Kilkenny, you know, and the clashes that we've seen earlier on, 82, 83, the early 90s and so on and so forth. It brings a whole expectation to this game here today.
Massive expectation,
and some mighty witticisms over the last couple of weeks as well from fellas.
Terrific. You know, there are nothing better than the Cork people for their wit and for everything else. And you know, when they come up to Croke Park, maybe with not a great chance to win again, maybe not. As the game gets closer, they get more and more confident. You can see them this morning. They're more confident now than I've ever seen them before. And we are nearly the same way. You follow on to that, you know. But we're just watching Brian Cody there. I mean, what he's going to tell Kilkenny today is, in the last 3 matches, you haven't hurled until the second half. He's going to tell them, go for the juggler right from the start today. This is an inexperienced Cork team. Put them on the back foot, because if Cork get the upper hand early on, if they start playing like they played Clare in the first round of the Munster Championship, then they'll be very, very hard to stop.
There's his opposite number, of course, Donald O'Grady. Big test, obviously, for Donald O'Grady today. Everything has gone right so far. Taking Cork from the troubles of last year, brought them to the Munster Championship win, brought them here to the All-Ireland. Today, it's all in the balance.
Well, reputations are won and lost in the All-Ireland. Everything, that's the game people remember. They forget about what happened in semi-finals or other games. A huge day for Donald. He has done absolutely everything right. He has performed a miracle to bring them together, to unite them so well, and to get them playing with such physical aggression that you don't usually associate with Cork, allied to their brilliant skill. And he always has a plan for every game. What will be his plan today?
And Cork have great support from, because of the action the players took earlier in the year. You know, I think players in every other county privately are saying they'd love to see Cork winning because of that, you know. And Donald O'Grady, he's coming across as an easy going quite well. You see the determination in his face there, unbelievable. And I heard him on the radio say during the week, we're travelling more in hope than expectation. I don't think so. I think Cork are here to win.
That's for sure.
There's no doubt about it. All right, gentlemen, the President of Ireland, of course, Mary McAleese, is about to be introduced to the crowd, has been introduced to the crowd, and taking the presidential salute.
Terry McAleese, accompanied by the president of the GAA, Sean Kelly, going first to meet the Cork players, led by their captain Alan Brown from Blackrock. And a wonderful occasion for all of them here, after you consider the trauma of the past 12 months in their lives, from strike action in November, late November, through to an All-Ireland final in mid-September. It's some voyage. John Gardner there. That's Mickey O'Connell shaking hands with President McAleese, who is a great sports fan, I know, and her husband Martin up in the stands, ready to enjoy this match. A game which has really captured the attention of an awful lot of people throughout this country and well beyond as well, on a gloriously hot, sunny day. So the various officials then being introduced. Pat Horan, who is one of the linesmen this afternoon, and of course Pat O'Connor from Limerick, from the Ahan Club, who is the match referee. DJ Carey now, who is the Kilkenny captain, introducing first of all his goalkeeper James McGarry, who's also his cousin. And down along from Noel Hickey. Just a few clouds overhead at this stage. It's been a wonderfully warm day here in Dublin, and in terms of support per county, I'm kind of feeling that Cork just about outnumber Kilkenny. I don't know how they got the tickets or where they got the tickets from, because each county had an allocation of round about somewhere between 11,000 and 13,000, but there's so much red and white out there right now, it's quite amazing. So DJ is wished well by Her Excellency the President, Sean Kelly offering his good wishes as well, and now it's up to the players. There is a great sense of occasion, which everybody enjoys, but at the end of the day, it's the destination of the McCarthy Cup. That's what it's all about. That's what they've trained for. There's Martin McAleese, great down football fan, and I'm sure he'll be back here in 2 weeks' time for another meeting of Ulster teams. Tyrone against Armagh, the All-Ireland champions. So a very popular visitor to the newly developed Croke Park, and it really does look magnificent today. Another bit of refurbishment to go, of course, down at the Hill 16 end. That's due to be completed by this time next year. Well, today it's the champions and the challengers, very much the centre of attention. Huge support. So let's get a final word then from our panel. Let's have them nail their colours to the mast, as it were. Michael?
Thanks very much, Ger. Well, I don't know if they're going to nail colours to the mast, but they're going to nail their predictions to the mast anyway. Michael Dyke, you can have the first cut of it.
I was hoping that you'd skip that bit and we get away without saying. I've gone with Kilkenny all year. I'm not going to change my mind at this stage. I said there were certainties the last day for the final, after the semi-final. I'm probably not that confident now that there's certainties, but I think they'll win it. If they play to their maximum ability, I think they'll win it by 5 or 6 points.
A good Cork man and a friend of mine, a friend of yours, Eugene, was giving out last night that they were giving Cork no chance. Gerlock, have you given them any chance?
Well, I think 82-83, 92-93, 2002, this is 2003. Kilkenny won the All-Ireland last year, won the league this year. Out of respect for that record, I would give them, I'm going for Kilkenny this year. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't put my shorts in it. I could have nothing on here by the end of the game.
not a pretty sight.
Not a pretty sight.
Well, with that in mind then, I suppose. Not that we don't have any bias here in the panel as to who wins, but Ger, now you know, 2 votes, 1 cautious, with the shirt kind of held firmly to his chest. For Kilkenny, that's the view of the panel. Back again to you.
Yes, well indeed, he is holding that shirt to his chest. Well, he might. And you know, Cyril Farrell, who's alongside me here, you know, Cyril, in this era where the managers of the two teams really don't want to talk to us at all and give the game away, they love to build it up naturally, but they don't want to say anything about the opposition that will give the other team an advantage. Can I quote something to you? In mid-April, these teams met in the league at Páirc Uí Chaoimh in front of just 13,000. Kilkenny won that league match, and there are just a very few changes in personnel. But after that game, Donal O'Grady said, I just think we were outclassed. They were very cute, very slick. We were a bit naive. 5 months on, what do you think?
Well, Donald has said it, they were outclassed that day, and like Kilkenny are very good craftsmen, but they're also physically very strong, and like they play a lot of the high ball, puck outs come down on John High, Henry Shefflin especially, they're very good in there, and when they're in trouble they've been out Martin Comfort there as well. Cork have improved a ton since that out there, like, you know, they've got the half back line of Kenny Curran and O'Halpin are playing well, question mark over midfield with Garner and Michael Conlon in it, but their forwards, half forward line are inclined to carry the ball. If they get through it, it'll cause trouble. Kilkenny half back line, that's where the whole thing is going to rest. If the Kilkenny half back line get on top, they'll win the game, but if Cork will to break down that half back line, they'll have a right cut at it.
When I was going through the teams there, the line-outs, we were speculating, as we usually do, that Mulcahy will go to the left-hand side, probably pick up DJ, and Diarmuid O'Sullivan will be told patrol in front of the goal. Just that area in front of Donald O'Cusack. Is that what you're anticipating?
Yeah, George, that may happen, but I think what Donald O'Grady do is say to Pat Mulcahy, you stick at full back, especially Comfort is there. Now if DJ moves in, I think Diarmuid O'Sullivan will go in there. I think to leave Mulcahy on Comfort for a start.
But I'm just thinking back to the replay of the semi-final against Wexford, and Donald O'Grady spent most of the first half behind the goal away to my right here, which is where Cork were defending, because as they say down at Leaside, the Cork full back line were in the horrors.
Yeah, Jaron, you see what Donald was doing there, O'Sullivan had gone into it and he was holding him at full back and not letting him move out the pitch. Now if Tip did the very same thing against Kilkenny, they'd have a chance of not letting in them goals, because when Brendan Cummins was making the saves, there was no full back line in front of him. Every ball that came out, the Kilkenny forwards are queuing up to take the shot again. With the new ball and the pitch so fast, you need your full back line dominating, put on the edge of the square, not 30 yards from goals. The goals don't come from there, they'll come from around the edge of the square.
You mentioned the new ball. We now realise that new ball was in operation for last year's final as well, but nobody made a big issue of it. With this new ball, which is flying all over the place, is midfield as important as it used to be, do you think?
Yeah, Gerber, going back to last year's final, the new ball was there, but the goalies had their own balls, and when the new ball went wide, they were plucking out their own balls. This time, the new ball is in play the whole time, because it's O'Neill's ball the whole way. Now, it makes a terrible difference, because midfield is bypassed, but I think Cork might play a lot of ball into midfield today and try to win there, try to bypass the Kilkenny half back line.
DJ Carey of Kilkenny won the toss, and he's opted to play from right to left in the first half, which means that Donald O'Cusack is down at the Hill 16 end, and they will play Cork from left to right in the first half. There is really no great breeze of any great consequence. When we were down there doing our piece around 1 o'clock, sir, I think the breeze was blowing, as the meteorologists say, in a moderate southerly direction, which means across in front of us here.
Oh yeah, George, it's fantastic here for Hurling. The atmosphere is brilliant, and the pitch, like, it looks immaculate, but it is slippy, George, there's no doubt about that. And talking to both the minor players and the senior players, it's even hard to know what kind of cocks to wear. The consensus seems to be maybe the old style 6 cocks, 4 on the, 2 in the back and 4 along the middle of the sole. If you wear too many, even the beautiful new blades, you just slip on the surface.
It's time for the anthem, performed today by the magnificent Celtic Tenors. What an outpouring of emotion. Cork and Kilkenny have met at this stage in the championship more often than any other pairing. 18 times in all. Cork with 7 wins, the last in 99. Kilkenny with 11 victories, the last in 92. That's against one another. In all, between home finals and replays, they've met 22 times in all. Pat O'Connor refereeing his 3rd All-Ireland final from Ahan in Limerick, and he is one of 11 Limerick men who have handled the All-Ireland hurling final. Mention of Limerick, it was Limerick who won the first McCarthy Cup. It was presented for the 1921 championship, but the game was played 2 years later because of the troubles at that stage. And we're looking around for possible switches and changes from the early stage, and I've noticed that Comerford and Diarmuid O'Sullivan are on one another, and it looks like Mulcahy has gone across to DJ. The referee waiting for the signal, And the 115th All-Ireland hurling final is underway, and straight away it's Tommy Welsh here. 65 metres out from the Cork goal, looking to give his side the lead, and he's done it! What a start! First attack, first point. There was a doubt about him, but he showed no effects of any hip injury with that beautifully hit point. Got really good purchase on it. There's the 65-metre line, and Tom Kenny, his marker, was well adrift of him. Great start. Donald Cusack pucking out towards Alan Brown, who'll come into the half-forward line time and again. Here he is to try and take those puck outs. Inside towards Niall McCarthy, the centre half-forward. Raiding once again, sending it back towards John Gardner. Looking for the equaliser. Gardner strikes, but he struck it to the right. He's put it wide. Got the opening point in the replay against Wexford, and it hots up in the middle of the field. There he is, just having a little get-to-know-you with Paddy Mullally. Paddy, who aside from being a very fine hurler, is also an excellent golfer.
There'll be no golf out there today, Ger.
Gardner reaching up for this one-handed down into the centre. Shawnee Dowling coming across for it. Taken well here by JJ Delaney, having a great season. That's Derek Ling, busy as ever in midfield. Covered off well there by Wayne Sherlock. Outside here towards Dermot O'Sullivan, inside his own 20-metre line. A long, lengthy, flamboyant kind of clearance down towards Satanto Halpine. Two men going across to mark him. Peter Barry here with the breaking ball. Nobody able to get total control of the situation. Barry knocking it into the centre. It was Ryle, in fact, inside for McCarthy. That's Niall McCarthy. Back to Gardner once again. And he's on the ground, but the referee says it was good pressure play by Kilkenny, and in the end it becomes a line ball. Tommy Walsh is down injured, out over the sideline. Good confrontation here. Gardner was challenged. Tommy Walsh was coming across. Gardner was down hands and knees, and Tommy Walsh despairingly went out over it. Injured himself in the process. Scorer of the only point so far, Tommy Walsh. Usually plays, by the way, as a back with UCC in the Fitzgibbon Cup. Mickey O'Connell, bad connection that time by Mickey towards Ben O'Connor. He's lost the hurley. O'Connell lobbing it ahead towards Satanto Halpine. He's got Mickey O'Connell ahead of him. Satanto trying to go through. James Ryle's after him. It's a foul, it's a free, and it's going to be a chance for Cork to draw level. And Satanto is fired up, you can see here. I expected a very big opening 15 minutes from this player. He's having a very good season, and he could cause problems for James Ryle. Joe Dean, one of those goals a game men in the championship so far. That honour with Eddie Brennan and with Henry Shefflin as well, of course. Dean, who's Cork's leading scorer, 4 goals and 24 points for the campaign. This Cork's 5th match, Kilkenny's 4th. They're level. So a positive start by It really is a very, very colourful setting. Pressure, I would think, on Brian Cody here. All the happenings that were going on. He would love to have had Charlie Carter and Brian McAvoy as part of his panel, but they opted out and they're not available to him. Going back hands and knees was Henry Shefflin, and the whistle sounds. It's going to be a free to Kilkenny. Niall McCarthy there from Carricktool, one of the Cork newcomers to the All-Ireland final, playing in their forward line. The challenge there on Shefflin deemed to have been unfair. It was Alan Brown who made the last connection. Sean Dowling dropping it in. Comerford's there. Well taken by the goalkeeper. Donald Cusack needs to settle his nerves early on in this match. Offside towards Timmy McCarthy, and he's out over the sideline. Pat Horan, linesman on the far side, very vigilant. Line ball to the Cats. Henry Shefflin, incidentally, has made a switch here as we watch that in reprise once again, and Cusack made a good clearance. Shefflin has switched with John Hoyne. Dowling with the sideline ball. Pressure on the Cork backs, dropped away there. Nicely picked up here by Ben O'Connor. One of his feet may have been over the sideline, but not the ball. JJ Delaney is after him. Good control by O'Connor. He's had the ball in his hands, so he's got to release it now into McCarthy. Swinging it and swinging it wide. That's 2 wides now by Cork. A promising attack, but coming to naught. Worth having a look at this again here. Ben O'Connor doing a little mazy run. Appreciated he cut the ball too many times, so had to hand pass it then to McCarthy, but good pressure by the Kilkenny backs. Henry Shefflin's been marked over there by Sean O'Halpine. That's a big switch on the part of the Kilkenny mentors, I think, because O'Halpine is a central figure to the success of this Cork team.
Yeah, John, it's one that they do quite often. John Hine is very comfortable in centre forward. There's a lot of the donkey work. Like Sheffield can play him anywhere really. He's a very good hurler. Cork will be very disappointed that he didn't get that last point. That should be gone over the bar.
It didn't, and this one might. And it does. Henry Shefflin's first pointed free, and it's Kilkenny who lead. Sean O'Halpine, the left half-back, would have been expected to exert a big authority on that half-back line for Cork, but by putting Shefflin in there, I think they could negate his effectiveness and his overall influence. Martin Comerford here. Diarmuid O'Sullivan deemed to have pushed him in the back, and Martin Comerford illustrating exactly what happened to the referee, Pat O'Connor. Here it is again. Well, he did a bit of stumbling there. As ever, it results in a free in to Kilkenny. Early stages of the final. Beautiful afternoon. Kilkenny trying to open up a gap. And that one has gone wide. That was a big chance. He was being asked to replicate what he did just moments earlier, which was fairly routine by his standards.
Yeah, Jerry's usually very accurate from these.
Dowling under pressure. Peter Barry's there to help out on the half-back line. It's been a magnificent half-back line by Kilkenny, and they have a great sense of togetherness. Comerford, very rangy player, very selfless player, taking on Wayne Sherlock. Turning, striking, and he has scored. Usually gets just about a point a game, Martin Comerford, but he's a great leader of the attack. And he gives them so much variation. It's 3 points to 1. When Kilkenny wish to and feel the need to, they can bring him out into the half-forward line and switch him around with Henry Shefflin or anybody else. But he shows what a fine individual player he is. Good skill, great execution.
Yeah, Jerry does a lot of tankless work. They say he doesn't score much, but he's very good big game player. Last year against Brian Lohan, he had a fantastic game as well, and he started off very well here.
Another very big game player, I think, is Peter Barry, the centre half-back. Now, he might have stuttered in his form earlier on in the championship, but he's a man for the big occasion. Keep an eye on him, the number 6. Donald Cusack going left once again towards Alan Brown. They've read the tactic. Michael Kavanagh is his marker. Brown battling, settling in with Niall McCarthy here, taking it away from a group of players. Slipping. Shefflin's after him. Still McCarthy. Outside to Alan Brown. Didn't have much of a chance of that, but it might come favourably for Dean. Good challenge coming in. Dean still persisting, trying to work for it. There against Peter Barry. Back it comes to Sean O'Halpine. Angling inside towards Ben O'Connor. JJ Delaney sticking to the task, but it breaks kindly for Timmy McCarthy, and his shot is wide. Useful attacks now being mounted by Cork, but they're lacking that conviction in front of goal. And he must be a bit concerned, Donald O'Grady. 3 wides and only 9.5 minutes gone. First season in charge, of course. John Hoyne trying to benefit in there against Ronan Kern, and he does well, Hoyne. Good little flick away by Cork centre half back towards Kenny. Back once again it comes, this time to John Gardner. Swept away into the middle of the field. Timmy McCarthy there battling with Shawnee Dowling. Dowling getting the touch. Intended for Henry Shefflin. Won by Timmy McCarthy again. Peter Barry trying to smother it in the centre of the field. Shefflin trying to roll it up. Everybody pleading. And it was handled off the ground. And it's going to be a free to Cork. Well, they were really going at it here. That was a great catch. Wonderfully done by John Hoyne over the head of Ronan Curran. John Gardner, 20 years of age, was on the same under-12 team as Satanto Halpine all those years ago with Napirshig. And he has put this one wide. Cork are experiencing the same kind of jitters that they experienced in the drawn match against Wexford, where they had plenty of possession but missed a lot of useful chances.
Yeah, Gerard, there are good chances as such, like, as long as it doesn't drain their confidence, because every chance Kilkenny will get, they'll tap it over.
But Kilkenny have opened a 2-point lead. Sean O'Halpine stayed back, anticipated, helped out Ronan Kern. Fires it in towards Joe Dean. Hickey is there as well. Great full back play by Noel Hickey. A real master of his craft. Crowd gets behind him to Henry Shefflin. Dominant. Good play by Shefflin. Takes them all on. Indestructible. Players calling for it. Mullally one of them. Lobbed into space. Poor ball. Oh, there was a high challenge. Ronan Curran was tackled high. Referee didn't take any action. Tommy Walsh is after it for Kilkenny. Has it. Has a space, has a gap. A scoring chance, and he avails of it. He got the first point. He's got the latest. And Kilkenny, with their cuteness, their sharpness, are now leading by 4 points to 1. Yeah, Two shots at the target.
Terrible tackle here, George. Should have been a free out. Like, there's a whip here across. Mightn't catch it here. That should have been free for Kilkenny. But before that was a tackle across the neck. Should have been a free out. Yeah, here's centre back coming down on the ball. Now look at that there. That's definitely a free out. Should have been, should have been a free out there.
Instead, it's Kilkenny who lead by 3. Satanto Halpine breaking it, and Ben O'Connor couldn't quite contain it. Line ball to Kilkenny. Kilkenny playing the game at their own pace, achieving mastery.
Yeah, during the physical exchanges so far, Kilkenny are getting on top.
JJ Delaney. Beautifully caught once again by Comerford, who's causing problems to the Cork full back line. And it's going to be a free in. This time the referee has spotted the indiscretion. It's by Wayne Sherlock. This was Diarmuid O'Sullivan there, and that was a great catch taken just moments ago by Martin Comerford. And following the foul by Sherlock, his name has been noted. So he gets a little ticking. And Henry Shefflin a chance now to add to the point he got earlier on from a free.
Yeah, at the moment you're like Kilkenny are well on top, and Cork are kind of trying to do things very fast and just not settling down at all, and Kilkenny are edging further and further ahead.
The gap widens. Going very nicely now from a Kilkenny point of view, leading by 5 points to 1. And we haven't even reached the end of the first quarter. Kilkenny were very definitely the favourites, but Brian Cody kept his charges' feet on the ground, on the floor. Reminded them about 99. Reminded them about 2001 in the semi when they lost to Galway. Michael Kavanagh getting it away. Kavanagh has some record playing under Cody. Only beaten 3 times ever in Championship Hurling, and 2 of them were All-Ireland finals. Wayne Sherlock back there, one of the stars of 99 against Kilkenny. Trying to get it away, he's lost the stick, needs support. And Cork have been run ragged at this stage in the game, just going away from them, even though it's very early. Henry Shefflin. They're just going through, then stopped in the end, despairingly by John Gardner. Gets it out, but only to Tommy Walsh. Walsh steadies himself, inch perfect, inside the right-hand post and over. He's got 3 on the clock now. 3 shots by Tommy Walsh, 3 points. Tom Kenny from Grenagh has got his problems here. Cork are going to have to tighten up their approach. Well, they've made poor starts in the past. I remember Cork making a very poor start in the Munster final against Waterford, when they were pretty wretched for the opening 35 minutes, and then came good. But Kilkenny are always capable of a really good 20-minute spell in the second half themselves. Alan Brown trying to eat into the lead, and he's put in wide. They're complaining about it. He thought it was spot on. Well, from his viewpoint, and I wasn't in line with it because I'm exactly across the opposite side of the field, but he was convinced it was in. It's still 6-1. Ronan Curran under pressure. Does well. Good control here by the bars man, one of the CIT students in the team. Ben O'Connor. Derek Ling from Hurling. He's done really well. Back to John Hoyne, 50 metres out. This one has gone wide by Hoyne. He's a tough competitor player, John Hoyne. A bit like John Power before him in the Kilkenny team. And both of them who just loved playing for the Black and Amber. This is the point a little while ago by Tommy Walsh. Emphatically driven between the tall uprights. Good play here by Sean Dowling. He went back, read the situation, only as far as Gardner with the clearance, however. And Gardner can't punish the passing error. That is a total of 6 wides now by Cork, and as you can see, 16 minutes and 40 seconds gone. Doesn't look too good.
Yeah, Jordan needs some of these to go over, because they are getting chances, and a little bit of breeze, I'd say they have it as such. Kilkenny will be very, very happy because they are capable of tacking on scores, and if Kilkenny get a goal, Cork will be in real trouble.
I thought that little shot we had a moment ago there was the non-smoking area in Croke Park. Obviously I'm wrong. That comes in January the 1st. Here's O'Halpine. Oh, loses the flight of the ball that time. Sun was in his eyes. Pressure once again on Cork. That's one of the difficulties the Cork players have had to contend with at the back during these opening minutes. Strong sunlight. So it's going to be Sean Dowling from O'Loughlin Gales, playing today in just his 5th championship match. Known in Kilkenny, by the way, as an Omlock hurler. I haven't heard the phrase before, but they say it's due to his unorthodox style. Nothing unorthodox about this man. Martin Comerford, direct, swinging it in and putting it over. Great point. Kilkenny are doing as they will. They are the dominant force in this match, and Cork have real problems. 7-1. Came from the line ball from the Omlock hurler inside here towards Martin Comerford, and he's leading his man, who is Diarmuid O'Sullivan, a merry dance. 2 points for Comerford from 2 shots. Referee has gone back now to have a word with goalkeeper Donal Cusack. Not quite sure what that was about. Did you understand the cause of concern?
Not really, Gerard, no, unless they're trying to change the ball.
I think it may well be that he's trying to introduce his own version of the hurling ball, his own slitter. The Cork made one, and the referee had spotted it.
They want to do something, Joe.
Timmy McCarthy trying to do something here. They need to score badly. Cork hooked well, and it's out over the end line, and it's wide. That was a wonderful hook to deny the farmer from Castlelyons, and I think it was Noel Hickey who got him at the end. Just watch this again in reprise here. This is what Timmy McCarthy loves to do, but the other players needed supply, and it was indeed Hickey who got in the telling challenge. Great play. One farmer denying another there. Nicely done by Ronan Curran, but there's a clash there. It involved Tommy Walsh and John Gardner, and the referee has whistled in favour of Kilkenny. Kilkenny and Brother Cork are warming up their substitutes on the sideline. Not that they'll need too much warming up on a day like today, which is nice and humid. John Gardner's got a ticking for that last foul. Tommy Walsh wants a strapping round his helmet. Henry Shefflin wants another point. 2 from free so far. That's 2 out of 3. Perfectly delivered from play. Kilkenny are the masters, and when Cork foul, they've got Henry Shefflin, who'll take a good 80% of the frees and convert them. And you wonder what Donald O'Grady can do. The earpiece there links him up with the other 4 selectors who sit in the stand and see what's going wrong. And an awful lot is going wrong right now. That was the shot by Setanto Halpine, and it's gone wide. An awful start by Cork. 20 minutes into it, they haven't played, they haven't been allowed to play. They've missed a number of chances as well, a total of 8 wides. Bad play in an All-Ireland final in any kind of match. Those who see that the bottle is half full and not half empty will say, well, at least Cork created that number of chances. There's Kavanagh playing in his 24th championship match. He's out over the sideline, or at least the ball was before he gathered it, I think, because the linesman has indicated it's going to be a Kilkenny ball. One of the quiet men of the Kilkenny team. You very rarely hear him say an awful lot during a game to the other defenders. Well, one of the conversation points we had earlier, Cyril, was that Cork and their selectors didn't change the team in the championship. We're at game number 5, it's the final, same 15 starting. Will this tactic of not changing come back to haunt them?
Well, they're trying to let them settle out, but they really need a score.
Well, Kilkenny have been doing well on Cork's puck-outs so far. That's Tommy Walsh, he's starring. Forget about the hip injury, he's taking on Gardner now. Sherlock's after him, O'Sullivan's out. Oh, he's put it wide, but there wasn't much in it. It was a great attempt by Tommy Walsh. He's flying, having his best game in the campaign so far.
Yeah, Jerry, he's really on song. Like, this is John Garner swinging at nothing. Tommy catches, goes, he's very, very fast. Goes down here on the left wing. Watch the he has everyone beaten. O'Sullivan comes to maybe put off a little bit and just goes barely wide.
And a player down in need of attention is Wayne Sherlock. Cork doctor, of course, is Dr. Con Murphy. 16 All-Irelands he's been involved in with Cork in hurling and in football. It's a long, long time since Wayne Sherlock and his team have scored as the subs go back into the bench, having done the warm-up part. Not called on yet. Cork scored in the 4th minute. We're now nearly 23 minutes into it. So we've gone 90 minutes or thereabouts without a Cork score. It's been that bad. Alan Brown will just try to get his team as close as possible to Kilkenny heading into the break. No goals so far as McCarthy fires it into Joe Dean. There might be one here. Setanta has missed it. It's a 65. They get something out of it, but they should have got a goal. And Setanta is the first to realise the genuine possibilities there. He's got 2-7 so far in the campaign. Dean fed it across. Setanta was unmarked. That should have been in.
Yeah, Joe, you'd have to credit to James McGarry. Came off the goal line very, very quick. Beautiful flick here. As he hand passed across to Setanta there, McGarry came fast. Because he took his eye off, but like McGarry came very fast and made him take his eye off.
It was the best goal chance. Another one might come here, and McGarry chests it in well. Setanto Halpine just out of luck. Another day, that would have been flicked into the corner. Niall McCarthy, Cork sensing that there are chances still there before half-time to get valuable scores as Gardner strikes it, but really, you just didn't feel he had any confidence in himself.
That's it, sir. They're having the confidence. At this stage, John Garner's gone back, right wing back, and Tom Kenny's gone midfield, but the confidence has been drained out of Cork. And like Kilkenny are tapping away the points to hold them 7 clear, and if Kilkenny get another chance of a goal, this game could be gone beyond recall for Cork.
That's 4 wides, by the way, by John Gardner, as you say, now marking Tommy Walsh. Ronan Curran dropping it down. All the breaking ball going Kilkenny's way. Very good at the scrappage play. Tom Kenny now sucked into the middle, up towards Alan Brown, the captain. Loses this early, claims he was being pushed. Mickey O'Connell's chasing after him. Hasn't really got into the game so far. There against Hickey. Dean on his down on the ground. Rolled up by O'Connell once again. The little flick forward. Way off the target. Setanto Halpine can't hold on to it. She looks absolutely frustrated after the long, long journey from Cork. Cork with 10 wides. The half-time break can't come fast enough for them. There's still another 10 minutes to go. 7 points between the teams. Just 1 Cork point. Lots of pressure. No joy. Gardner. Good move. Going beyond McCarthy into Satanto Halpine, taking on James Ryle. He could have the beating of him if he gets decent possession. Softly hit that time. McGarry again, good control, takes it down well, feeds it out towards JJ Delaney, and a good lengthy clearance way down the field. John Hoyne reaching for it, couldn't make it. Walsh is coming after it. Here comes Pat Mulcahy, wearing the number 3 of Cork, but playing somewhere around left corner back. And it's Michael Kavanagh out with first. Good play by Kavanagh. Back there, DJ Carey. Great race by DJ, listen to the crowd urging him on. Belting it forward into space, and that has gone wide. 4 wides now by Kilkenny. That's the first we've seen of DJ in this match. He had gone out the field, allowed Mulcahy to come out the field, and that was the first time we saw both of them in the action. Timmy McCarthy losing it here to JJ Delaney. Great play. Wayne Sherlock couldn't hold it. It bounces out towards Ronan Curran. Ooh, couldn't come up first time, does the second. Has support. Diarmuid O'Sullivan needed a bit more room, couldn't get it. Kilkenny are just closing in, blocking down. We talk about the way Tyrone play football in Croke Park, where they give you no space. Kilkenny are doing exactly the same to Cork. It hots up. Just a few pushes and shoves. Nothing terribly serious, and the referee is in quickly. He's isolated. It was Martin Comerford he was thinking about having a chat with. This is it again. That was O'Sullivan, the block down there by Tommy Walsh. And a bit of whipping and pulling. And it's Tommy Walsh in the end who's called across. And this is probably going to be the first yellow card of the match. So 27.5 minutes gone. Tommy Walsh with 3 points from 3 shots at the target and 1 yellow card.
Jerry was unlucky there because a lot of wild pull on both sides.
Well, sometimes referees treat situations like that by just picking one guy, the misfortunate one, but it could come against him later on, of course. That is the difficulty. In vacant and in pensive mood. After all of that, it's going to be Derek Ling who will take a sideline ball. Derek Ling, who's a first cousin of soccer player Michael Reddy, who's still playing with Sunderland, I think. John Gardner driving it away down towards Satanto Halpine against Ryle. The break taken this time by Ryle. Good clearance by the young man. Down towards Henry Shefflin, turning well against Sean O'Halpine. And Kilkenny winning possession vitally in key areas, denying Cork. At this stage, Donald O'Cusack has been pucking the ball out time and again. So much of the play has been coming down towards the Hill 16 area. Again, the puck out towards Alan Brown. Kavanagh's keeping an eye on him, so the others are dipping in, and it's Timmy McCarthy releasing it here. Nice play by Tom Kenny. Kenny looking to score inside to O'Halpine. Players coming in support. Alan Brown is one of them, and great support play again at the back there for Kilkenny, and they get it away. Magnificent play. Whenever there's a hint of danger, they're back and they're helping one another out, and it's working time and again. Henry Shefflin here. Henry against 3 Cork men, which will leave a gap, but he couldn't spot the gap, couldn't get it through. And that in the end is Mickey O'Connell driving himself into a couple of Kilkenny players, winning the free. Derek Ling is number 18 from the Emeralds Club. This is O'Connell here. Knew what he was about, and Ling came in. Didn't need to foul like that, but did so. And he's given John Gardner a chance of a second Cork point. 25, nearly 26 minutes since the last one. Looking for a goal, I think, instead. Getting nothing of it. And Kilkenny once again solid at the back. Well, there was a point chance for the taking for John Gardner, but he was lobbing it in around the house, looking for something bigger than that. Mulcahy sweeping it forward. Timmy McCarthy's got in to join the attack. Here's Alan Brown. Cork looking for a goal. And the referee has blown the whistle. Satantua Halpine has it, but it wouldn't have counted in any case. It's a free from 20 metres out. And it's a chance for Cork, who are absolutely outplayed in so many phases of the game, to get within 6 points of the champions.
Yeah, Jerry, even though they're outplayed, they have plenty of chances of scoring. Isn't that the chance they're coming, and they're kind of going for goals instead of taking the points as such? They're being outplayed, but there's plenty of chances. If they tap over the points, they're still in the game.
So Dean looking for his second point. The first was from a free, and the second is from a free. It's some commentary on Cork's first half performance. 31 minutes are played. It's 8 points to 2, and the only scores that Cork can come up with are from 2 frees. McGarry's puck out. Dowling. Good variation on the puck outs by McGarry, going long and then going short, and everybody anticipating that it might come their way. Eagerly taken up here by Niall McCarthy, and he's won himself a free. Really fired up. And I'm sure the Cork mentors are probably going to be saying to their team very shortly, look, forget the first half. Mistakes were made in front of goal in particular. We allowed them too much latitude. But now they're probably saying you can still win it. And Kilkenny will have that inner belief as well that comes with being champions. Could make for a very, very good second half. Dean, inside the 65-metre line. He's misdirected it. Just not happening. Well, in terms of scoring chances, Cork have actually created more scoring chances in the first half so far than Brian Cody's team. Cork have created 17 scoring chances. Kilkenny scored just 14. So plenty of chances. The conversion rate is very, very bad. DJ Carey hoping to lead Kilkenny to another McCarthy Cup success. He's won a free. This to put a bit more daylight now between the teams as they head towards the break. We haven't seen the signal from the fourth official just yet as to how many extra minutes will be played. It's going to be 1. Shefflin right in front of goal. Should be another. And it is. The game's leading scorer, Henry Shefflin, his 4 points all coming from frees, and it's 9 points to 2. Kavanagh was swinging at it, needed Sean Dowling. He's having a great game and a great season as well. Nicely controlled here. Tommy Walsh having discarded the red helmet, but this time he misses his chance. Fluffed the opportunity. He's got into top of the right, being marked by Pat Mulcahy. And DJ Carey has moved out to left half forward. Timmy McCarthy now steadying himself. Didn't get very decent power on the shot. Still runs in, calls the moment of concern for the backs in there. Everybody's after it. Joe Dean's after it, but the back standing firm. And in the end, they win the free out. Frustration for Joe Dean, but they really are up against it. A very committed and resolute Kilkenny defence this afternoon. This is it again. The chance was there just for a moment, but you can see James Ryle spreading his body back there. JJ Delaney coming in, the number 7, and one in the end with Noel Hickey ready to take it away. He's had a great match, Hickey. And the referee decides that the ball that was thrown in there wasn't the correct one. So the hoppity, rubbery type of ball is the one they favour. That's the one back in action. It's pretty lively. And Kilkenny have been making best use of it, leading by 7. Almost into the 1 minute of injury time at the end of the first half. Walsh playing it through, intended for Hoyne, seized on instead by Wayne Sherlock. There for Sean O'Halpine, may look for his brother Setanta, runs on beyond him, and that's good play again by Noel Hickey in front of an attendance of 79,383, just about capacity. Here's Tom Kenny again, now in an attacking role, in for Timmy McCarthy. They need a score, Cork, and Timmy McCarthy is he going to provide it? The umpires are having a long shot about it. The referee has put his arm up and says to the umpires, if you can't decide it, and I can, and they finally wave the white flag.
Hard to believe, Ger, that both umpires didn't even make a move.
9 points to 3. Not quite sure what the umpires were doing here. It's not siesta time just yet. There's still a few seconds left. McCarthy swung it, and the umpires couldn't make up their mind. It was a perfect point. 6 between them. Wayne Sherlock trying to urge on the others around him. He's up against DJ Carey, one of the greats of the game, the greatest modern day hurler that I've seen play this sport. DJ and John Gardner there just having a couple of angry words. Nothing too much, and the referee perfectly in control. We've already played the 1 minute of additional time, but it's now very much at the referee's discretion. No sliotar, so we're waiting for the right ball. And finally the match can restart. John Gardner. Ryle contesting there with Setanto Halpine, and the referee's whistle brings to an end the opening 36, nearly 37 minutes of the 115th All-Ireland Hurling Final. Kilkenny have been more economical, they've dominated in key exchanges, and they have a lead at half-time of just 6 points. Might not be enough for a Cork team who really didn't get going with the same fluency that they normally possess, and they trail by 9 points to 3. Let's go down to the sideline, get some comment now from a reporter who's Marty Morrissey.
John Allen, Cork selector. Not a good first half by any standards for Cork.
No, not a good first half. We're backpedaling most of the time. I'd say if we were to boil it down, we've missed at least 10 chances. We've missed a goal. We've missed at least 5 very scoreable chances. There's only 6 points in it. I'd say the difference in the two teams is we're not taking our chances, and they are.
Your hurling doesn't seem to be as confident as it normally is. Obviously, you'd be happy to get him in at half-time.
It doesn't. Our striking is quite poor. Our forward striking is quite poor. We're second to the ball a lot. It's like the Wexford match where everything has gone right for them. They've missed very few chances. As I said, we've at least had 10 wides, 1-5 at least of very scoreable chances which we've not taken, which we'll have to do something about.
What are you going to say? What's Donald O'Grady going to say at half-time?
Well, I think, you know, the game is certainly there to be won. 6 points is a big lead. I've no doubt about that. 6 points is a huge lead. I would think certainly the game is still there to be won.
John Allen, thank you very much. Noel Skehan is with us as well. Noel, in contrast, you must be a happy man.
I wouldn't say that really, Marty. I think we lost a lot of possession that we shouldn't be losing. We got some good scores, but on top of that, you must remember that Cork drove some wides there that you know, it means that they're getting possession and their shooting is out a bit. But all in all, like, I suppose it's good to be leading at half time, but you know yourself, you don't win all Irelands in 35 minutes. It takes 70 minutes, so it's going to take us hard battle in the second 35 minutes, but we want to up our performance. We won't be satisfied with that performance, to be quite honest about it, like, you know.
Noel Skehan, the very best luck for the second half. Thank you.
The contrasting views, and one thing which John Allen might note, that Cork had 11 wides in that first half. We'll give you the other statistics very, very shortly. But just watch as the players are going off here once again. Diarmuid O'Sullivan there having words with Brian Cody. And Cork created 18 chances, took only 3 of them. There are 6 between them at half-time, and the final, it's Kilkenny 9, Cork 3. We'll be back.
Half-time in the All-Ireland Hurling Final. The defending champions Kilkenny still very much with both hands on the Liam McCarthy Cup at this stage. 9 points to 3 they lead. Score 6 points difference, gap on the field, an ocean.
6 points in hurling is not a big lead, but the way Cork are going at the moment, 6 points is a lot because they don't look like they're capable of scoring at all. They got 2 points from frees and 1 point from play just on the stroke of half-time. At this level, it's not good enough, you know. But Kilkenny aren't much better at the other end. Tommy Walsh got 3 good points, Martin coming for 2, but apart from that, they're not clicking. Like overall, it's a hugely disappointing game. You know, the final was very poor between the same two teams. Maybe it's the hype or the build-up, but it's not what we were expecting. And
no, it certainly is not. Have a look at the statistics, Sherlock Nan, as well. I suppose you could say about the first half, it's not so much that Kilkenny won the first half, they mutilated Cork.
Well, that's it, and I tell you, it's very hard to pick out highlights from the first half. It has been that way, and it reminds me of something you said to me before the game, Michael, that you felt that Cork were very, very tense. And you know, the trick in coming into an All-Ireland final with an experienced team is to keep the balance between keyed up and getting over tense. If you get over tense, you freeze. Your shots go astray, you're hitting wise, it should be going over the bar. The striking isn't half as good as it usually is. I was down last night in the hotel where the Cork team were staying. I actually saw them there. That actually struck me about them. People around the team said they were very focused. But in actual fact, I thought they looked... Correct. I like to see players the night before a final joking and laughing and have a bit of fun. Time enough to get tense when you're coming in here to Croke Park, or maybe an hour beforehand. If you can gear it towards that, then you're going someplace. Now here's one of the highlights of the game, and I suppose the highlight of the thing so far, Henry Shefflin. I am sure out to Tommy Walsh. Tommy has a fantastic start to the game. Now off his left hand side. Now remember, Tommy is more a cornerback or a wing back. He's played at wing forward and he has scored 3 glorious points. Now here is off his left hand side. Now the strange thing about it is he has been changed from wing forward into corner forward. I think to accommodate DJ, to bring DJ into the game. DJ has been brought out to that wing, but he has got a few glorious points, and this one is Martin coming first. This was a classic point. You know, they were some of the few highlights, whatever highlights there were, they came from Kilkenny, whatever good scores there were. Now that's not to say about Cork opportunity. He had crazy wides. John Garner from midfield. Now look at the skill of this here, Martin Comfort. That's a score to adorn any final, but I mean it's easy to adorn this final because there are so really good things, few good things in it.
Well, we can only hope for a good second half. Joe Dooley's wife Mary is here with us in the box. She's a Cork woman. She's screeching in anguish at some of the misses. She's not wrong in that. The goal chance was a great chance. It went to the back.
The goal chance was a brilliant chance. Like if you felt if Cork could get a goal to bring them back into the game. Timmy McCarthy here comes onto the ball. And Timmy has tried hard. In fairness, he's won a lot of possession. Plays in a good ball across the field. And Noel Hickey slipped, the only mistake he made. And there's the ball. Maybe Satanta should have grabbed the ball and just away. If you watch it here from this angle, Noel Hickey's having an absolute blinder at full back. He's outstanding. Slips there. Joe Dean, maybe if Satanta just snapped at it there and turned away, but it was a great chance of a goal, and they really need a goal to bring them back into it. But still, 6 points is not a whole lot.
And they have points of possession.
Points of possession.
The two best players on the field are Noel Hickey and JJ Delaney, 2 Kilkenny defenders. I mean, there's piles of ball coming in there, but they're so hesitant in going for it. Kilkenny are not playing well. No. Kilkenny are a real disappointment here. And they're there for the taking, and they're still there for the taking, even at half time. And the danger is now, of course, that they'll score a goal. And if they score a goal, then it'll be very hard to drag them back. But if Cork get a goal at the start of the second half, they'll get a crowd behind them and we'll have a completely different game.
Well, at least, let's hope we do, because it hasn't been great stuff so far. Commercial break coming up, second half of the match after that.
O2 are proud to support Cork, the Munster champions, in their quest for the McCarthy Cup. Cork GAA, we're behind it.
I need to get the money for books for my course. You know, it's very important that I get these if I want to pass the year.
The equipment for my project is just much too expensive. What do they think, that it just grows on trees?
Basically, I need an ATM card so I can call my parents, just in case anything ever happened.
I need some materials for my art class. Canvas.
Well, it's actually for the dentist. Train tracks are ching-ching, bit of cash, you know what I mean?
I'm looking for money to do a graphic novel, panel by panel by panel.
No problem. We offer students more because when you start making it, we do too.
Introducing Adidas Antiperspirant. No matter how active you get, its unique cooling formula constantly adapts to your body. So you stay dry and totally cool longer. Adidas Antiperspirant. Active sweat control.
Whoa! Whoa! Who are you? Who are you? Jason!
Waffle fries, just €1 from the Eurosaver menu at McDonald's.
There are many great GAA teams, but none better than the Stars line out with myself, Micheál Murray Hefting, and forward their manager, the legendary Ger Loughnane. Also on the start team, there's Cian Murphy, along with Damien Lawler, and All-Ireland football winner Martin McHugh, Martin Bjorn. For the best coverage of the Hurling and Football Championships, join the winning team and don't miss 70 minutes tomorrow morning, only in the Star. For Gaelic Games coverage, it's far on Star.
FBD, peace of mind at the right price.
And there's no one I'd rather be. I just wish I
Never ever drink and drive. Could you live with the shame? From the National Safety Council, supported by AXA Insurance.
12 points scored so far in the first half of this All-Ireland hurling final. 9 of them to Kilkenny, 3 of them to Cork. We'd assume Donald O'Grady is going to give the Cork team a bit of an earful at half-time. I suspect so was Brian Cody, you were saying, Gerald Nan.
Well, Brian Cody will be given a right earful, and I think he gave one to Diarmuid O'Sullivan as well at half-time on the way in there, but you can be sure he's not a bit satisfied with the way they're playing. You know, they're holding up the ball around the middle of the field, they're not letting it into the full forward line. Has Eddie Brennan even touched the ball, Hal, in the first half? You know, and DJ, while he was inside, there was nothing going in. You know, they were winning the ball outside, running across, passing it across the field, passing it back, not the direct play that you associate with Kilkenny. Now, all Cork have to do is to take a lesson from our man. We see Joe Kernan go down, saying, calm it down, stick to your game plan, keep shooting for points, and eventually a few will come, and that will lead to your confidence. So there's no panic yet in Cork, but the avalanche is coming now. If they resist that and fight back and stay with Kilkenny or be close to them with 15 minutes to go, this game could end up really, really tight.
This game could actually spark open Michael Dighton, because it's been so poor in the first half. We can't just kind of amble on like that. No. I mean, this is an All-Ireland final. There's a Liam McCarthy to be won there.
Yeah, but the tension obviously before the game got to the teams. Now that should be, you know, dissipated, and the standard has to improve in the second half. But if Cork don't up in the first 5 or 10 minutes, Kilkenny will come now with a traditional burst. All their matches this year have been won in the 15 minutes after half time. To destroy Tipperary and Wexford in the Leinster final just after half time, they're going to come now with a big assault. And as Ger said, if Cork can manage to hold them now for the next 10 minutes, they have some chance. But otherwise, Kilkenny can pull away and win this match very easily.
Just notice actually, Gerald Nan, Donald O'Grady is out on the side of the team. Actually, are in doubt.
I reckon what Donald O'Grady has done is he has said them, right, you're going to win the All-Ireland now. You sit down there and you decide what you're going to do. Managers often do that. I've often done it myself. Leave him there and say, listen, you're playing absolutely rubbish. Sit down there now. Think about the next 35 minutes. Think what it'll be like travelling home on the train tomorrow without that McCarthy Cup. You have 35 minutes now to do. Get out and do. So I'd say you can be sure Cork was a mighty assault against Kilkenny at the start of the second half.
Okay, gentlemen.
Are they good enough? Are they good enough? That's the question. I don't think they are.
That's the question.
35 minutes to show us whether they are or not. Let's go back again to Cyril Farrell and Ger Canning.
I think that's exactly what Donald O'Grady has been doing. Telling the players, this is it, this is your opportunity, I can't win it for you. Because he had one little word there with Alan Brown after he finished his meander around the length of the field before the team came back out. And now it's down to the two teams, two sets of players to determine who wins this year's McCarthy Cup. Only 6 between them, after what was a very, very bad first half. That's John Hoyne. Good ball in. Asking a few questions of the Cork backs. Wayne Sherlock was fouled and it's going to be a free out. That's the first time I've seen Eddie Brennan in the action, incidentally. You heard Gerald Nan asking the question as he touched the ball. I don't think so. Just committed the foul there. Free to Cork. So Diarmuid O'Sullivan to launch this one. Just inside his own 45-metre line. Big one in towards Alan Brown. And again, it's Noel Hickey. What a match he's playing. Outstanding. John Gardner. JJ Delaney dropping it forward here. Comerford is beaten to it by O'Sullivan. Comes back out into the middle. Again, Kilkenny raid. John Hoyne's shot partly blocked down. Sherlock put under pressure. And Comerford swings, punches the air with delight because he knows it's on target. He's got a third. 3 shots, 3 points. And it's 10 points to 3. Cork were hoping to make the better start, but the dominant team, the beginning of the second 35 minutes once again, the champions, the Cats from Kilkenny. Tom Kenny outside towards Sean O'Halpine. Over towards Ben O'Connor, who's had a very quiet match. That's because of the influence of JJ Delaney. Paddy Mullally trying to hold it, leaving it there for Tommy Walsh, who's been reacquainted with his red helmet, surrounded by Cork men, and there's a knock in the face there of Mickey O'Connell. He's down, will need attention. Play continues. It's John Gardner out here to Niall McCarthy. Sells the dummy well there. And that will lift the crowd. McCarthy has put it over the bar. They go point for point at the start of the second half. And once again, there are 6 between the teams. After we saw the injury there to Mickey O'Connell, it was Niall McCarthy who continued on his way, having got the pass from Gardner, and that was a great strike. And there's going to have to be a blood substitution now for Mickey O'Connell, and the man who's going to come on will be Jerry O'Connor, who could very well have been in a contention for a starting 15 place. That's Niall McCarthy, leaving it here for Tom Kenny. Cork suddenly lifting the tempo of the game inside to Setanto O'Halpine against Ryle. Dean is calling for it, doesn't come to it, spills loose, and the referee blows the whistle just as Michael Kavanagh was clearing it out. It's a free in, and once again Setanto, the tall man, 6'5", is fired up. O'Grady's done his business at half-time, telling the players exactly what's demanded of them. This was Setanto O'Halpine against James Ryle, and Ryle was having to foul. Down went the tall number 13. Cork at the free in. Dean will be the taker. This should be an easy one for him. There are 5 points between the teams. Joe Dean has pointed a third from the 20-metre line. 10-5. That's 3 pointed frees from 4 in all. And the Cork fans now begin to feel the journey wasn't all in vain. James McGarry. Kilkenny will have been certain that Cork will ask questions during the second half. McCarthy down to the other McCarthy, Niall McCarthy. Alan Brown nipping in here, the Cork captain. Across towards Setanto O'Halpine, and Ryan committed himself and leaves the gap. And Setanto's bearing down on goal, and he has put it over the bar when he might have gone for a 3-point score, but they don't count. It's his first of the day. The fans are fired up, the players are fired up, and James McGarry is trying to remain as nonplussed as possible, and I think he's claiming that that might well have been outside.
Jared Umper has waved the ball wide, so it's going to be, it won't be a point, it's a wide.
So it doesn't count. So just to check, it's 10 points to 6 in one place and 10 points to 5 in the other. It's 10 points to 5, we have it confirmed. One of the scoreboards is wrong. It's now been amended. Still 5 between them. Cancel out Setanto's point that wasn't. Gardner going forward. This is Jerry O'Connor. Too much pace in the pass. Line ball to Kilkenny. This is a bit more like it from both teams. And Mickey O'Connell ready to come back into the action again. Or is he going to do so? No, he's not. Well, that'll disappoint one of his biggest fans down in Middleton, who's Aileen Ahern, over in Boston watching it today. Donald O'Grady, very single-minded, as you clearly have to be. at this level of competition. Nicely rolled up here. Kilkenny trying to take command of it again. John Hoyne. Swept across here by Tommy Walsh towards DJ Carey, who's back there towards top of the right and collides there with Pat Mulcahy, and the referee has blown his whistle. Free, the foul by DJ. Now the greater noise has been made by the supporters of the red and white, the Munster champions. DJ leading the Leinster champions. And down injured is John Gardner, I can tell you, out of picture. He was in the wars a little while ago. And the fans now trying to get behind the team. But just a mention of John Gardner, I think it should be said that he's done a very good job since going back to right half back, because there was a real threat and a real menace there as long as Tommy Walsh was getting decent ball and good latitude.
That's right, Charlie. They've put out Tom Kenny midfield, and Garner would probably prefer to be the half-back than rather than midfield. But it's a good period for Cork at the moment. They're more or less come back into the game, but they still want to tack on the scores.
It's 10 points to 5. So Jerry O'Connor is on. No longer just a blood substitution. That's down towards Jodine. Bounces away off Noel Hickey. Kilkenny in some difficulty, and it's a penalty! Satanto was grounded. Pat O'Connor makes the decision. Or is it? No, it's not. Well, he indicated by waving his arms out wide that it was going to be a penalty. He's changed it. Baffling. Comes back to Jerry O'Connor, and that has gone wide. There was the Satanto wide, there was the penalty that wasn't, and there's another wide here. What do you make of that?
Yeah, Jerry, I have to say at the moment that Cork aren't getting the breaks as such. Everyone thought there was a penalty there. Now, it's very hard to see from here, and Satanto's point as well, but Kilkenny are hanging in. It's a bad period for them, but like Cork would want to get their scores, Jerry, because if they don't, Kilkenny will tack on a few more.
If we see that again later on, I'm quite convinced the referee went down, blew his whistle, waved his arms wide, signalling a penalty. Doesn't count anyway. Derek Ling under pressure. Good play away by JJ Delaney. And Diarmuid O'Sullivan loses the stick, but he's a footballer, come a hurler, and takes them all on. But it's a day when you just need to remain calm and disciplined. And Pat Mulcahy there just tapping him in the front and saying, easy does it. And Martin Comerford going in for a ruling as well, but it was a dragging down of this man here, Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Pats on the back for him, free to Cork. It's still 10-5. There he is without the Hurley, and then running in to Eddie Brennan initially, and then Comerford. O'Sullivan's long free to Jimmy McCarthy, breaks it down, swept away by JJ Delaney, doing an awful lot of tidying at left half back. DJ Carey out 65 metres from the Cork goal, trying to set something up. Nobody inside really, goes for it himself, and he's put it wide. That's 2 shots on the target by DJ during the match, and they've both gone to the right of the posts. Kilkenny are about to make a change, and Tommy Walsh is going to go off, and it'll be Conor Phelan who'll come on. So Conor Phelan, who's got great skill, great ability, young player, replacing another young player. Each side having made a substitution. Here's Satanto Halpine, legs taken from under him this time, and it's going to be a free in. JJ Delaney committing the foul, free from about 25 metres out.
Yeah, Jerry, he's the one player, he's the one Cork player that has the Kilkenny backline rattle, if it's possible to rattle them at all, because they are very, very composed. But he is creating a lot of trouble, and they're fouling him.
I know they're trying to target him as much as possible, but the difficulty is getting the passes to him on target on account of the fact that the players in midfield trying to play those long balls in are themselves under pressure. You get nothing easily against Kilkenny. Dean to strike. Should be another one. He's got 3 for the day so far. Cork eat into the Kilkenny lead. The margin is down to 4 points. By no means a classic, but very competitive at this stage of the contest. Will it be Donal O'Grady's crown, Cork's 29th, or Kilkenny's 28th? All to be determined in the next half an hour or so. Good play here. That's a fine effort by Derek Ling. Great point by Ling. Raises the white flag, and that's wonderful play when you can see a midfielder coming in, taking the responsibility and snapping it over, blowing into Kilkenny into a 5-point advantage again. Here he is coming out of midfield, nobody able to get in a decent tackle on him, and a good shot. And that's Kilkenny's first score now in 10 minutes of the match. Peter Barry up here towards Henry Shefflin. Plenty of time to compose himself, lobbing it in towards Conor Phelan. Great catch by Dermot O'Sullivan. Mighty play. Out towards Jerry O'Connor, the new man in, slipping. Not quite wearing the studs he should be wearing, perhaps. Ronan Curran way down. Peter Barry's under it, calling for it, lets it drop. Still gets it the second time, all in after it. And he emerges with it and gets a high challenge. Releases it outside towards Niall McCarthy. McCarthy working feverishly. Back there as well, Jerry O'Connor and John Gardner, who got the last touch. They decided it was a Kilkenny player. Line ball to Cork. This is the catch again down at the other end. Conor Phelan powerless to deny the towering Dermot O'Sullivan. And that has gone wide at the other end as we were watching the play at one side of the field in reprise. It's tense. Very warm evening as well at Croke Park. McGarry now with the sun into his eyes. Kilkenny trying to win their own puck out. Comerford going across to right half forward. It breaks loose to Sean Dowling. Back to Kilkenny trying to establish control of the game once again. Conor Phelan trying to make an impact, and he also slides and slips. So it's interesting, the two subs have just come in, and the first thing they do is fall around the place here. And it's one of the difficulties with the surface here at Croke Park nowadays.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Ger. It's very, very hard to hold your feet here. If you're travelling to the ball at all, just do a quick little shimmy and you're gone.
There's a kind of a hollow underneath. It's not got the same give, the ball, when it bounces, as it does, say, in Thurles. Alan Brown against Kavanagh. Runs on beyond both of them to Timmy McCarthy, turning around past Dowling. And that's going well to the right. Idea was good. Execution not quite matching up to the approach. And that is a total now of 15 wides by Cork. Sean O'Leary there, one of the great corner forwards of the 1970s and 80s. One man you could always depend upon to get a goal, how they could do with one now. But still 5 points between them. Kilkenny only tagging on 2 points for the second half so far. So being contained by Cork as Wayne Shirley way down towards Satanto O'Halpine, beating Ryle to it. He's off again, O'Halpine. Satanto with a hand pass to Joe Dean, the goal of game man, is content with the point. 5 points for Joe Dean, the first to come from play. And a great run again made by Satanto O'Halpine. And it's 11 points to 7, only 4 in it. Approaching 15 minutes gone in the second half. What about that for a block by Wayne Sherlock to set it all up? And when he did set it up, this is what happened. Satanto was on his way. He has the beating of Ryle the whole time. And the selfless release resulted in the score at the other end. It's Martin Comerford trying to go through, still in there, needing a bit of support. Breaks back loose. Again they try to get it up. Outside towards Paddy Mullally. He rushed his shot. The man who has been captain of the Kilkenny football team. Yep, they have one too. And these Cork fans delighted with that wide, almost as good as a point at the other end, I'm sure they feel. And they recognise themselves. More time for consultation. Alan Brown couldn't take it. Great work indeed by Sean Dowling. Kept his eye on it, never deviated in any way. Wayne Sherlock Released out to Diarmuid O'Sullivan. The Rock, they call him. Down towards Joe Dean. Couldn't control it first time. Needed Alan Brown. Satanta's coming in to help out. Satanta has it. Into space. Ben O'Connor on his way. Good shoulder. Played in towards Dean. Kilkenny man there. And it's once again the fullback, Noel Hickey. And Hickey in a little difficulty here, but still has the presence of mind to pick up and release. Batted down by Jerry O'Connor. The twins, of course, in the half-forward line for Cork. Ben and Jerry. This is the other member of the half-forward line, Niall McCarthy. Back out towards Ben. Nice little dodge. Angling the shot. Perfectly dispatched. Ben O'Connor, the scorer of his first point in this All-Ireland final. And Cork fans still believe that it's possible. Only 3 points in it. Ben O'Connor went into this match with a little injury to the back of his neck. He's got a point there. He has some stitches at the back of his neck following an injury. But he's made it 11 points to 8. Met first time by John Gardner. Now Cork are putting it up to Kilkenny, and the questions are being asked of the champions. Donal O'Cusack. Wayne Sherlock, part of a defence that had conceded 8 goals in the previous 3 matches. Broken down by Dean, inside to Alan Brown. Runs away loose, and this time it's taken away nicely by Michael Kavanagh, the ice-cool man. Getting it forward to Henry Shefflin, has enough room, angling the shot in. He's putting wide. It would have been a great point by Shefflin. That is now 10 wides by Kilkenny. The Cats were enjoying a fair bit of supremacy in the first half. You can see Hurley's flying out there that time. My goodness. That was from one of the mentors.
What happened there, Ger? There was a cornerback lost his hurl, and the mentor was very fast, flicked it out very quick to him. He's in there to do that, Ger.
James Ryle not standing his ground, and once again it's Satanto Halpine, and he scores!
Santa Claus has delivered, Ger. He's threatening all day.
18 minutes into the second half. Satanto Halpine with his 3rd goal in the championship. His first score of the day here. Denied a point earlier on because it was wide, but this time no question or doubt about it. James Ryle rattled, his composure gone, the persistence and the athleticism of Satanta in evidence, and he fired, and he's put the teams level for the second time. Oh yes, this man believes it's possible. It's possible for Kilkenny as well. 1-8 for Cork, 11 points for the champions. Now we're in for a fine last 15 or 16 minutes of action. Niall McCarthy going for the point here, opening up the broad shoulders, strike out to, yes, he's put it inside. His point. And now Cork fans are enjoying this period of supremacy. It's the first time that Cork have led in the All-Ireland final. One of the umpires wasn't 100% sure, but the man on the left was, and he waved the white flag eventually. Cork in front in points, 12-11. Shefflin coming to try and level it. He's missed. Approaching 20 minutes gone in the second half, 15 to play. Now who's your money on?
Yeah, George's been a great second half, especially for Cork. The game has really lifted. First half, Kilkenny was so much on top, and Cork listened, was a kind of a dull game. It's lifted now. But Kilkenny are good champions there. It's going to take a great team to beat them.
I'll tell you what, if you're watching this on video later on, just wind through the opening 35 minutes. Forget it. It was forgettable stuff. Brown. Down. Here's Timmy McCarthy without the stick. Into space. Satanta, the rangy player, can't hold it this time. Taken up well by the Kilkenny backs. Peter Barry was there. Michael Kavanagh. Kavanagh tidy, but 2 men after him, and the ball is still in play. Joe Dean back towards Brown without the Hurley. Back to Timmy McCarthy, fancying his chances. Inside towards McCarthy, having to reach backwards. They've got a man over in Jerry O'Connor if they need him. He's got the scoring opportunity, and he has fired it well. but it's come back down off the post. Real let off for the Cats. And now all of a sudden big questions have been asked by Brian Cody. Is he to experience defeat at the hands of Cork for the second time? Pressure on the backs of Kilkenny. McGarry copes well. In 99, remember, in the rain, Kilkenny were hot favourites. Cork won by a point. They're leading at this stage by a point. Honor coming through. Referee says play on, good defensive work, and Kilkenny steal it back. And once again it's Noel Hickey, always at the centre of the action. JJ Delaney to help him out, but a bad clearance. Comes out to Niall McCarthy, has time, and that is a very poor miss by McCarthy. He has to appreciate how much space he had. He could have delayed an extra second if he needed it.
He could, yeah, but it's a mile a minute at the second. Everything is going. Most people thought it was a free out. Comes out from here. He should have scored this. Has scored harder ones and just flicks it wide.
Well, he got two earlier on. And Brian Cody's team facing a bit of a crisis of their own. Remember, Cork only got 2 points for a long portion of the first half. They were on one for a mighty long time. And now Kilkenny with only 2 points in the second half. 22 minutes into it. John Hoyne bottled up by Sean O'Halpine. All the family are here. And that's going to be a free down. That time Ronan Curran doing his work well. What can Brian Cody now do? The manager leading the side along with the experienced Johnny Walsh and Noel Skehan.
Ger, who'd want to be a manager?
Well, you did at one stage.
Got out before he got a heart attack. It's a tough pressure job down there.
I'd want to be a spectator, it's more like it, I think. Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Cork leading by 1. The outsiders available at very good odds at the start of play. Brown inside to Dean. He has support and Timmy McCarthy's in for it and he lets it drop down and Peter Barry is in swiftly. And he knocks it away out towards Derek Ling, trying to hurl it out of the centre. Henry Shefflin's available to help out. The hand pass out into the centre. They have support coming forward. It's James Ryle. Up towards Comerford, batted away by O'Sullivan, but it didn't go too far. Comerford has it again. Looks at the target, goes for the shot himself, and that is over the bar. That's one that Kilkenny needed, and Martin Comerford has struck over a 4th point, and this fan is saying, yes, we can still do it. Great scoring chances at both ends from the reverse angle. This is what confronted Comerford, and he met the challenge well. It's turning into a great final. O'Halpine beaten this time. Good play at the back there. Hickey inevitably doing the covering. That's Tom Kenny.
At this stage, Kilkenny reacted. But JJ Delaney gone back in on Satanta, and James Ryle has gone wing back.
Oh, Satanta's gone down. JJ Delaney was having a nudge or two at him. I saw Noel Hickey coming in after him, but I didn't see Hickey making any contact. I might see it in reprise, and surely the umpires who were right alongside it saw everything. Is the referee going to speak to them? Well, he's going in now. The two people involved in that with Satanta were JJ Delaney and possibly Noel Hickey. But I thought Hickey was the last to arrive on the scene.
There's only a bit of pushing, the usual pushing and shoving. I don't think the referee just say cool it down a small bit, lads. But it's hard to cool it down in All-Ireland final.
Sure is. Well, he's content with a little lecture. The umpires clearly told him not much went on. It's going to be a free in.
Interesting here now, Jared. John Gardner has missed all these frees in the first half. The question is, will he go for this one?
He's composing himself. Plenty of height, good distance, but the accuracy isn't there. No points from 8 shots at the target. That's a bad return by John Gardner when it comes to scoring, but as a half-back he's done really well. Andy Comerford is about to be introduced into the action, and Richie Mullally, there's Andy, number 21, last year's captain. He's ready for the fray. Richie Mullally back from a broken bone in his leg, been going really well in training. He's going to come in. So now the players coming off, it looks like James Ryle is one of them. didn't have a good day, and Paddy Mullally, so it's one Mullally for another. 26 minutes are gone. Time for the substitute now, Richie Mullally, to have a grand entrance. He's still in there bustling away. Andy Comerford waiting for the break to come his way, didn't do so. Derek Ling has it, spoons it outside to Henry Shefflin. Kilkenny needing scores. That's great play by Shefflin, breaking the hearts of the Cork backs once again. 5 points for Shefflin. And this lady still has hope, and so have they, that the McCarthy Cup will be going back by the Nore. Good play by Shefflin.
Yeah, Gerald, shows you how strong Derek can be on Mullally and Danny Comfort. These guys are very experienced.
Kilkenny now 13 points to 112, leading by 1. Sean Dowling, that's touched down there. Good play, nicely away. Mulcahy setting up this attack for Joe Dean. It's good, but it drops short. One of the things I noticed about the new Croke Park, a number of the players like Joe Dean sometimes have difficulty measuring the distance accurately. It's a bit farther out than they've been used to. And this is a far out free. And Henry Shefflin has fired up. He's given Kilkenny the lead. And there are about 7.5 minutes of the final still to go. Incidentally, this is going to be the first Kilkenny free of the second half. It's an amazing statistic, but true.
Yeah,
DJ Carey yet to score, but he's come back out to take this one.
Long way out, but you can't, like, this guy is great under pressure.
Remember the 365s he got against Tipperary, converted each and every one of them. This is on his own 65-metre line. So about 85 metres from the goal, and he's put it to the left, and the captain has put it wide. They still live on their nerves. Kilkenny the favourites and the champions, leading by 1, 13 points to 1-9. The coaches bark out the instructions and hope that they get a response from their players. It's tense. Donald O'Cusack pucking it out. Where's the next score to come from? Alan Brown's out around the 40. Andy Comerford coming into the equation here. And that diagonal shot has gone out over the sideline. Line ball to Cork. Bad use of possession by Comerford. A bit rusty, I think. It means that Cork now can go back into the attack. Every play from here on in is bound to be crucial. Hope it's a good match wherever you're listening to it. Jerry O'Connor lets it bounce off his legs, comes back towards Niall McCarthy. Into space here. Taken up here, once again by Ben O'Connor, going by. Oh, anticipating that Dean had gone to his left, he hadn't. And instead back there is Richie Mullally, who had such a wonderful National League way back in the spring as a wing-back. Good ball inside, intended for Conor Phelan. Runs on to Henry Shefflin. Kilkenny have a man over. It's Martin Comerford. He balances it, he strikes, and he scores! It could be the crucial goal of the game. Minutes into the second half, and the Cork defence was in a dither, and the disarray was punished in emphatic style by Martin Comerford. His shot striking the ground and bouncing in beyond Cusack. Doesn't get too many goals. It's his first of this year's campaign. The other end, Jerry O'Connor has come in and he's pointed. A swift return by the Cork man. This is the goal again here, and it came from that pass inside to Martin Comerford. The defence at sea, the ball an awkward one to stop as it bounced in front of the keeper. It's some return by Martin Comerford, the big, tall, brave number 14 of Kilkenny. 5 scores this afternoon from 5 shots. And now the turn of Cork to make a change as Ben O'Connor goes off. And coming in is Shawnee McGrath, the man who got 3 points in the second half in 99 against today's opposition. There are 3 between them. Kilkenny lead at a crucial stage in the match. John Gardner lets it bounce off his legs, follows it up himself, needs Niall McCarthy's intervention. Henry Shefflin's back there as well, but it's still McCarthy. No stick, go for the boot. He does, inside to Brown. 45 metres out, Cork come looking for another score with Tom Kenny. They need a little block that time by Dowling. Beautiful work indeed by Sean Dowling, and Andy Comerford is there to help out, and in the end the clearance is by Michael Kavanagh. Everybody looking at the flight of the ball, following its direction. Runs unkindly for a couple of the Cork backs, but Cahy's under some trouble. Big pressure here as DJ has it. Brennan is to his left. DJ holds it up, uses up a second or two, can't get it to a colleague however, and it's Pat Mulcahy who tries to get it away from danger. It's stuck on the 30-metre line and the referee will throw it in. 3 between them still. 3 minutes of playing go in this year's Guinness All-Ireland Hurling Final. Great pressure play from both teams. Some great individual performances. And still it's all to be done and all to be won. Kenny way down. Great play by the fullback. Once again it's Noel Hickey. He's had a wonderful game. He'll hardly play a better game in the Kilkenny colours. Diarmuid O'Sullivan back at the other end. Alan Brown trying to nurse it to himself. Andy Comerford, the old war horse, is in there. 3 against 1. Cork there in numbers. Coming in is Kenny, then McCarthy. That's Timmy McCarthy. Stopped, this time by Peter Barry. Flashes it forward. Intended to link up with a colleague, but instead it's Niall McCarthy coming through. It's Cork who are behind by 3 points. Late in the game. Inside towards Jerry O'Connor. Stopped by JJ Delaney. Breaks it out and there's a foul on Delaney and it's going to be a free to Kilkenny. It'll take a bit of pressure off their beleaguered defence, and Niall McCarthy just getting involved. Kilkenny with a couple of players down, as you can see. Have Kilkenny seized the initiative at a vital stage in the game after Cork asked them all kinds of serious questions. This is the attack there a little while ago, and the great play of JJ Delaney.
Niall McCarthy here would be looking to stay on there, but because he had a frontal charge, he also used a stick afterwards. He'd be lucky that he doesn't survive, go get a red card.
The referee is giving him the lecture. Is that an indication he's allowing him to stay?
Noel Hickey is having a fantastic game. So is Martin Comfort, 1-4 again from play. This guy's a big game player every year.
Cork have created far more chances in this match than Kilkenny. 35 chances to 26. It emphasises how they've turned it around. Their scoring rate's been poor, and he will be very, very annoyed with the way things have panned out. But it could still be Cork's day. He'll still believe it's possible, but time is against him. And Brian Cody will appreciate, I'm sure at this stage, that only a Cork goal can seriously affect them. As Eddie Brennan goes off and Jimmy Coogan comes on, Eddie had a very, very poor match. Just didn't for him. For a player who was heading for the accolade of Player of the Year, he heads for the dugout. 2 extra minutes to be played. So 1.5 minutes to settle this. Kilkenny will need another point. Cork will need a goal. There hasn't been a replay for 44 years in the hurling final. Pressure on the Kilkenny backs. Kavanagh just bats it down. Shawty McGrath would settle for a point here. It's close, but not quite close enough. O'Halpine, and that has gone wide. So 2 minutes to be added. 1:13 to 1:10. Are Kilkenny about to level in the league table the tally with Cork, 28th time champions each. James McGarry playing in his 18th championship match. Possession vital for Kilkenny here, and they have it. Once again they go forward with great purpose and determination. It's Conor Phelan, the sub, who's grounded, but comes up with possession crucially. Kilkenny have the mettle. They've done it before and they're doing it again, and it's Shefflin who points, his 6th. It's a great finish by Kilkenny. They wobbled for a long period of the second half as Cork rocked them with score after score. But Kilkenny have found their style and their rhythm again. And Shefflin, ever the hero. At the other end, Shorty McGrath has chipped in with a point. It's a late one. It means the gap has been narrowed once again to 3 points. But it's only Cork's second score, just doing the tallies here, in the last 15 minutes. Not quite good enough. The players themselves will realise. So a few more seconds to play as Sean Dowling knocks it forward and Kilkenny have it again. And the goal hero, Comerford this time drops it short. Donald Cusack, this is it. Cork have got to get a goal here, but they've also got to tag on a point. And I don't think it's within their possibility range at this stage. Satanto Halpine looking for the goal and then looking for some hope. He's got a free in, but there can't be much left in it. The referee has played 2 minutes of additional time. The shot is by Jerry O'Connor. Has got to be taken again. A little bit too hasty. Well, there can't be much time now, and the referee, I think, just signalling to the Cork players, this is just about it. Dermot O'Sullivan is running forward to Joe Dean. Here he is into the equation, trying to steamroll his way through. Stopped by Peter Barry. Kilkenny with possession, and Kilkenny with the title. The champions have retained the McCarthy Cup. They had a battle on their hands in the second half, but they met the challenge head on. They had stars around the field. Wonderful defensive displays by the likes of Noel Hickey, JJ Delaney, Sean Dowling and Michael Kavanagh. And Martin Comerford with a goal 5 minutes from the end turned the match around in Kilkenny's direction when it was just on a seesaw. And the fans will go home, I think, certainly from a Kilkenny point of view, thrilled and delighted to have retained their trophy. Cork fans will be very disappointed, but I'm sure will appreciate that they had a good season, beaten in the end by a goal and 14 points to a goal and 11. Only 3 between them. Let's go down now in a few moments' time once we get an opportunity to get some comment. But first of all, Cyril, we've just got to have a little breather here after all of that. Yeah. It got frenetic in the second half.
Great second half. Kilkenny went in 6 points up. Brian Cody would have them charged that they'd taken in the first half. And definitely, like the likes of Martin Comfort, Noel Hickey, Cavan, they were fantastic, and Peter Barry. But it was the subs he used in the second half. You had Richard Mullally coming on, Conor Field, Andy Comfort, Jimmy Coogan. 3 of them lads would have won the All-Ireland last year. And like the Kilkenny strength and depth. Then you had Henry Shefflin knocking over a few points. Like, Eddie Brennan, DJ had quiet games as such, but they're a very, very good, strong team, and like they're great champions. And who's to say they won't want to win 3 in a row?
It's quite an achievement for Brian Cody, their coach. Single-minded, determined. Some people said he was ruthless, but he knew exactly what he had to do. And it's all about winning the trophy in the end. And I'm thinking in terms of Brian Cody's own career as a player. He won and he lost an All-Ireland minor medal against. And he didn't want the same thing to happen with him as manager losing again, having lost in '99. He's won in 2003, and Kilkenny are champions. Well, the bookies knew what they were talking about, but I think those experts as well, who figured that Cork would go in and give it a real good lash, they've done exactly that.
Yeah, Gerard, Cork will be disappointed with the display in the first half, but they had plenty of chances to knock over. Just they're shooting into stray as such, and Kilkenny are too good, just can't do that. You have to take your chances when they rise.
Let's go down and hear what Brian Cody has to say. The triumphant manager is talking with Marty Morrissey.
Brian Cody, congratulations first. The double has been achieved. Wonderful feeling, I'm sure.
Oh, smashing feeling, Marty. I think without a breath there, I did a bit of running there, I think. I don't know if you ever do it anymore before Hurling. No, it's a savage battle. You know, I'm not really mad about getting leads early on in the game, to be honest, because it's difficult to maintain that. All-Ireland finals don't go like that. We're used to coming from behind and all the rest of it, but we were all worried at half-time because, you know, Cork didn't come up here to get thrown aside. And it's looking bad for us. It's like shades of 99, looming large, but you know, all you do is you dig in, you battle, you dig in, and you battle again. And 70 minutes and 70 minutes and 73, whatever it was, and it's just terrific.
Everybody was expecting you to come out and kind of put up scores like an avalanche, and certainly Gerald Nan thought so at half-time in our analysis. But Cork really stuck to their task, didn't they?
I think Jerry should know that Clare won a lot of All-Irelands without putting up avalanches. It's not about avalanches, Jerry, it's about grinding it out. I mean, including himself said beforehand, this is going to be a savage battle. And that's all it was, a savage battle. And All-Ireland fans are for winning. Thank God we won it.
This is some achievement for you personally now, and indeed for Kilkenny.
That's a great achievement for that man there, DJ Kerry. He's done everything in hurling, and now he's lifting the Lee McCarthy Cup. And, you know, every last player in the panel essentially idolised the fella, since they were, a lot of them were 7 and 8 years of age when they were watching him win All-Ireland finals, and now they've won All-Ireland medal with him. All they want to do is just drive him up them holding stand steps today, and it was a major motivating factor. But like every last player on the field, our backs were savage. I mean, there had to be Noel Hickey and JJ Delaney and these lads. I don't know how they were doing it, but they were doing it. I'm just naming two, but it could go on forever. Martin Comfort, I know, is ferocious work. But as a team, and the fellas who might and shine, they're digging in, they're hooking, they're blocking, they're hunting, they're hounding. And we're the All-Ireland champions, and that's it, Martin. Thanks very much.
And well done, Brian. Congratulations.
So Sean Kelly now to make the presentation.
And a very special fault to all our friends overseas. Vi an lá go húntaach, vi an tapis fear ar jaus, agus taréis lethe húntaach, tanamach agus sportdól, tá Corn Lee McCarthy ag dalaráis go Kilkenny na gasa. Cogadicus Low. Hard luck to Corky. They fought a good fight. It wasn't their day, but ultimate glory will come to them in the very near future. Gurmagh give Corky. And now Kilkenny complete the double-double. And in the company of Mr. Brian Duffy, Managing Director of our general sponsors Guinness, Gurmsha Oz O'Crioran, and Corn of Runner, our captain Kilkenny, Ireland's greatest, Kilkenny's hero, the legend from Goran, DJ Carey.
Big cheer for DJ winning his 5th All-Ireland medal today. Kilkenny the champions for the 28th time. Worthy winners, worthy champions. And but for the lapse in 2001 when they lost in the semi-final, they could today have won 4 in a row. They're that good a team. The fans will enjoy the occasion and the evening later on.
Taoiseach, Accordia, it's a great pleasure and honour for me to accept the Lee McCarthy Cup on behalf of this great Kilkenny team for the 2nd year in a row. Well, it's a great day for Kilkenny hurling. It is a great day for hurling, and that, in no uncertain terms, went to a great runners-up today, Cork. They battled and battled. We all know what it's like to be on a losing side, but I've no doubt you have a very young team, a great team, and your turn will come again. I suppose there's no greater honour in the game to come up here to Croke Park, a magnificent stadium, to accept this Lee McCarthy Cup. And I suppose with family, friends, and particular, it's a great honour for my own club, Young Ireland Staffers, as a representative here today. And I want to thank each and everyone in the club, players, committee, all combined, for putting me here today. Thank you very much. Throughout a long year, a lot of things have to go right. And certainly, things go right from us right from the start. We have a magnificent sponsor. Some fellas are saying we have too much gear, but I don't know, but whatever we have, we certainly have a very happy camp when it comes to gear and preparation, and that's all down to a magnificent sponsor in Avonmore. Behind them, we have a great supporters club led by Frank Morrissey and Jim Freeman. We have a great county board led by Ned Quinn and Pat Dunphy. We have a great backroom team. We have Noreen Roach on dietitian. We have Joe Malone, Rocker Cody on the hurls, Ty Crowley, Robbie Lodge, all our medical backroom team, and I hope I haven't left out. I see Barry Hickey down there as well. But I suppose when it comes to the crunch, we have a man who's with us for 10 years, has the team peaking every year, certainly that we've got to All-Ireland stage. Magnificent Cork man, Mick O'Flynn. Some fellas take a lot of stick, and when it comes to selectors and management, I suppose they're always in the firing line no matter what county they're in. They have tough decisions to make. They get the earned respect of everyone. We're two great men, a legend in hurling, Noel Skeen, and a great man in the background, great selector, Johnny Welsh, and of course the one man at Nick is always on the block, Brian Cody. Ultimately, no All-Ireland or no match can be won without a team, without a panel. And anyone that was in James's Park or Nolan Park for the last 6 or 10 weeks would have seen how we would have trained. And 15 fellas went down today, but in no uncertain terms, those 15 wouldn't have been prepared without 15, and in actual fact, 18 others who are there, who are fighting as strong as the team that went out today, just to be part of this panel and to try and make the team. And I want to thank, it's a great honour for me up here, but I would not get that honour if it wasn't for those 33 players out there. Lads, thank you very much. I've enough said. There's a lot of celebrating to be done. I look forward to being in Kilkenny tomorrow night and in Gorn on Tuesday night. And with that, I'd like to give Donald O'Grady, Alan and Brown, and all the Cork players 3 cheers. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Thank you very much.
So DJ Carey, as he said himself, will take the Liam McCarthy Cup back down to Kilkenny tomorrow at some stage, and I'm sure there's going to be a fantastic welcome for the team. Michael Duignan and Gerlach Nan here with me in the presentation box as we watch the Kilkenny players go past to each get their little opportunity to wave the Liam McCarthy to their supporters down there. Turned out to be a really exciting Michael Duignan second half of this match, and I suppose at the end of the day Kilkenny were deserved winners.
Yeah, it was a great second half. Much improved on the first half, and in fairness, fair play to Cork. They came out in the second half and they really laid down the law. They played brilliant hurling, went ahead, but then I think Kilkenny showed why they're the team that they are. When they were under pressure, when they were looked like they were gone, because Cork had all the momentum, they struck back and got the decisive goal through Mark Comfort, and that was the difference at the end of the day. But Cork, they're fierce disappointed down there now. They know that they hit an unbelievable amount of wides. They're 11 in the first half. I don't know how many in the second half, but a lot of them were very scoreable chances. And they could have been further ahead, could have put the game out of sight earlier on. But that's Kilkenny for you. You never have them beaten. And when the pressure was on them, they responded. And they're the worthy champions. They're the best team in the country at the moment.
Alan Brown and his players down the middle of the field. Cork players are still talking about this match, maybe plotting next year.
Well, I'll tell you, when they look back at this after a few days, they'll say, what only if we had played in the first half. That's the thing that will haunt them for the rest of the year. They're a very young team. They're a team that are on the march. They're a team that answered nearly all the questions that were asked of them up here today. The full back line was absolutely magnificent, and so was the half back line. And a measure of how well they played was, at the end of the game, I watched Brian Cody. he did a sprint from the Nelly stand out, the LA side out there, out in the middle of the field. Something I've never seen him do. It just show you that he knew how close to the edge they came. Kilkenny haven't been tested like that in 2 years. And it is a measure of their greatness that when they were tested and a team went ahead of them, they still came back and won the game.
Everybody talks about how calm and composed Brian Cody is, which he is, but I was actually watching him as well, Ger, towards the end of the match. He spent more time in the field than some of the Kilkenny players. He was dancing because he was so tense about the situation.
Yeah, well,
look at the ball.
Brian Cody's his style is to keep it very low key, and as if he's just a small part of the setup, but he's the man that controls the whole thing down there. And there's fierce pressure on him. He's the man who makes the hard decisions. He's the man who dropped Charlie Carter, and then Charlie walked away, and he had to answer all the critics and Brian McAvoy. And if he lost the All-Ireland, the pressure on him, he wouldn't show it at times, but there was fierce pressure on him. And
it's great to see that man there crowning his career with accepting the McCarthy Cup. He was captain in 1997. He lost out there. Here he's captain this year. We're not at the end of the career. We're not saying that by any means, but it really is a crowning glory in any great, truly legendary player like DJ is, to have part of his CV that he did accept the McCarthy Cup on behalf of his team. And what a player, what service he has given to Kilkenny, and what joy he has given to us all down through the years.
Well, no doubt about it, Ger. Michael scenes to savour here at Croke Park, and DJ, as always with DJ Carey, taking the time to talk to the supporters.
That's the thing about
the team are doing their lap of honours they're entitled to, but DJ always has time.
And that's the thing about DJ Carey. Up in Meath last year we had a night, we were trying to send the lads on holidays, and we had a race night, and I rang DJ to see could he organise the cup because I know him, and he said he would, and I said we got a couple of younger players to come up, like, whatever, and he rang me back about 3 weeks later and he said I have the cup for you. He says sorry it was so long coming back to you, and I'll bring the cup up myself. And he was in Dublin the night before. He went to Cork that morning down to visit a sick child in the hospital, and he came back up to Ackroyd to our function. I left at maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. Outstanding. And like people talk about he's doing this and that for commercial and whatever. He does all that work totally for free. He doesn't want anything for it. He insisted. We were even trying to give him a few pounds for their holiday fund. No way. He said, I'll do this, he says, because he tried to promote hurling.
But I think he also, the whole Kilkenny team reflects Cody's personality, honesty of effort, play with common sense, give it your level best for the Kilkenny jersey. And for Brian himself, this is his third All-Ireland now that he's won. He was a player when they won in 82 and 83. He's a manager when they won in 2000 and 2000. Now that is some record for both look at the service that he has given to Kilkenny, and I know the service he gave to us at underage level even before that. And that's what Kilkenny is. You come in, you serve your time, you carry on the Kilkenny tradition. You feel that's your responsibility, and then you hand it over to somebody else. But let's not forget Cork. A lot of people didn't give him a chance coming up here today. They came within an ace of winning this All-Ireland. They missed so many chances. Watch the number of wides when the stats come up. And if one of their best players today, Niall McCarthy, could only put that ball over the bar, the story could have been a lot different.
I suppose the thing about Cork, Ger, is they will look back in this game, as you said yourself. Kilkenny had 35 minutes hurling play today before Cork decided to start.
Yeah, Cork were very, very poor in the first half. But it was the day to take Kilkenny. They were completely flat. They weren't like the normal Kilkenny performance. Noel Hickey was outstanding, JJ Delaney and Martin Comfort. They're the only 3 players I'd say. Michael Kavanagh was solid, but those 3 players were at the peak of their game, but none of the rest of the team were. And it's just a measure of how strong they are mentally that they stuck at it, And maybe, as Ger said, Cork let them off the hook. They had an awful lot of chances, but Cork are learning. And in fairness, the likes of Stanton Halpine, he's a new young fella. He played very well today. Showed for the ball, took on responsibility, and got the goal when they needed it. So they're a team for the future. It'll be very hard for Kilkenny to come back and have the motivation and hunger for next year again.
But you see, if you look at it as well, Michael, this is the reverse of 1999. Kilkenny seemed to be, they took the lead at the vital time. They seemed they were going to win it. Cork came back and won it. The reverse happened today, And the history of Kilkenny and Galway in the last few years has been low scoring, tough, hard, low scoring games. And as Brian Cody summed it up with 2 great words there, it was every ball was contested with ferocious intensity in the second half. It wasn't the open hurling that a lot of people expected, but that second half was still a great half for everybody to savour.
In many ways, somebody like Diarmuid O'Sullivan kind of encapsulates that kind of blood and guts kind of spirit.
He caught the ball there with his 2 hands. He must have thought he was back at Larry Tompkins on the football, but he caught the ball. And I'd say if the whole Kilkenny team came at him, they were going to
they were all going to get a bang.
They were all going to get. But Diarmuid O'Sullivan had just to pick him out as an example, he had a very poor start to the year, taken off against Waterford, came in with a sickness, a cloud over him. But in the last couple of games, he's been absolutely outstanding. He's a great man to watch in full flow. But you have to say, while he caught some great balls and cleared them, Martin Comfort scored 1-4 while he was marking them directly, And Kilkenny strangely moved Martin Comfort off him at a couple of stages during the game. And when they did, he absolutely dominated. But the likes of Wayne Sherlock, Pat Mulcahy, Ronan Corn and Sean O'Halpy, absolutely outstanding. And they said a low scoring game, and that's a tribute to the Cork backs as much as the Kilkenny backs.
Correct. We didn't see brilliant forward play, but we saw fantastic defensive play today.
Those are the pictures, by the way, that will be on the front page of the papers tomorrow, no doubt. Two young Careys with Dad, who was the captain of the Kilkenny All-Ireland winning team.
That's what it's all about.
The winner takes it all, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, just looking at the Carters walking off, I was thinking that to myself, it's such a difference between winning and losing. And the Carters should use that as a motivation. I don't think people think about it enough until the event is over, but if you think about the actual feeling of losing an Ireland final before the game and get it into your head, it's a great motivating factor.
Look at what Kilkenny have done since 99. All the Lions have won since 99. That drove them on. They feel they left it behind them that day. This young Cork team can do the same thing. They will be very disappointed going home this evening, but they contributed so much in that second half. And again, I'd say, if they had only held in that first half, we won't say that the result would be any different, but what a game it would have been. We had a brilliant 35 minutes. But we would have loved to have an even better 70 minutes.
Yes, Well, I suppose there was so much build-up and so much about this game.
And they were new to Croke Park. It was so new to a lot of the Cork players. Kilkenny are so used to this field here. But at the same time, you'd have to say that overall, Kilkenny's aerial power, their ability to wheel ball in the air, especially early on in the game, that's what laid the foundation for their victory, for their half-time lead of 6 points especially. Now, Cork counteracted very well in the second half. They won a lot of ball, broke a lot of ball in the air, and picked up the breaks. But Cork will learn so much from this, but of course, that's so little consolation. You're going home after losing.
Going home with no cup. All right, gentlemen, we're going to pause and take breath here at the moment. A commercial break coming up. Still more to say about this All-Ireland. Yes, Brian Cody is the winning manager. Kerry, the winning captain. Kilkenny have done it. They've put those All-Ireland titles back to back. Always a very difficult thing to do, even more difficult in the modern game, but Kilkenny have achieved. That's a wrap up on today's game. Kilkenny won 14, Cork won 11 was the final score. And look at the number of frees, very few frees in this match indeed, and also the number of wides. Cork had just 6 wides more than Kilkenny, but in terms of the importance of some of those wides, it was critical to the outcome of the game. And in a good intense second half, and I suppose a tense game overall, just 2 yellow cards issued through the course of the day by referee Pat Ahern. All right, that's the scene then here at Croke Park. A period in the second half when Cork made the big push, the big comeback. They got a point, they got a goal, and suddenly they were right bang back in this match.
Yeah, they came out in the second half and they did exactly what they had to do. Like, they had to make a good start to the second half or they were in big trouble. And they dominated for the first 15 minutes of the second half. We're going to see the goal.
See the point from O'Connor first of all.
Here's Niall McCarthy, who did Trojan more calls during the game. If he had scoring shoes on, he would have had 5 or 6 points to his name. He hit a few bad rides, and that's Ben O'Connor. That's one of the, Ben O'Connor was very quiet during the game. JJ Delaney had an outstanding game in him, and then went back on Satanto O'Halpy for the last 15 minutes and quietened him as well. He was a superb hurler.
Then they follow this with the goal.
Mistake here by James Ryle, and Satanto is through, and beautiful goal. You see the way watch the height from which he struck the ball, the way he struck it. Once it broke him at all, he's passed Noel Hickey and he hits the ball almost shoulder height down into the ground and into the net. Now James McGarry had a great game for Kilkenny today, very, very safe under all the balls, but he had no chance here. Satanta, I thought, had an excellent second half today. A bit nervous, a bit hesitant maybe at the start of the game, but he was one of the real driving forces in bringing Cork into the game in the second half.
Then they brought themselves back into the game. Niall McCarthy got a point in the second half that actually put them in the lead at this stage.
That's right, and there's a great point from way out here almost at midfield. Now at this stage the Cork half back line were in total control. Niall gets the ball here. Now he did this all day long, and great shot here from away out the field. And we could see it from this side here. There was no question about it. It was going straight into that Cork crowd there in Hill 16, right over the bar. There he is at midfield, maybe 50-60 yards out, ball over the bar. Now at that stage you felt the momentum was with Cork, and if they could have piled on another score or two after that, they could have taken the game. But Kilkenny, usual, didn't panic, stuck to the thing, back down the field, and Comerford bangs it into the net. That was really the crucial score.
Richard Mullally is after coming on at this stage, and Andy Comerford. The subs like that are unbelievable to have on this. Two brilliant hurlers, especially Richard Mullally was outstanding last year, and he was back in training for the final. But here you see Henry Shefflin had crept inside, took up the ball and laid it off here to Martin Comerford. Great first touch. That was the key to that goal. Andy Comerford had one of those days today. He hit 4 great points from play, all from difficult angles. But if you watch here, it was a difficult enough ball to control. We were saying the first half maybe Sandro Halpin should have caught the ball. Now if he tried to catch this, it would have been away from his reach. But he took a great first touch, and maybe got a little break off Sean Oakes' hurl and into the corner of the net. But that was the crucial score of the game.
Yeah.
And
I think Sean Oakes was a bit far out there. He should have stayed closer to his line and guarded the post beside him. I mean, the ball wasn't going to come across him with Sullivan tackling him. That was where he was going to go for goal. He could only go in beside that post. Yeah. He should have stayed closer to that. Now, he let in one against Rory McCarthy as well, remember, at that side. That's the side of goal he should not let in the ball. Yeah. But it hit the ground, and maybe even if he was there, it could still have gone in. But that's the goal that won the All-Ireland for Kilkenny.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your thoughts on today's match. Relief also for Ger Loughnane. You managed to keep the shorts at the end of it all, just about.
Thanks be to God for that.
Just about.
That's the highlight of the day, definitely.
Michael Dignan and Ger Loughnane, thank you very much for joining us here in our presentation studio. That's where we leave it then for the moment. But an invitation, of course, for you to join us tonight for the Sunday game evening transmission. We're on the air at 9:30. We have highlights, of course, of the big game. We'll also be going to the Winners' Hotel, to the Kilkenny Hotel, for their victory celebration, as is per the norm. And I'm sure you'll join us for that. And, of course, as well, the man of the match from this year's All-Ireland Hurling Final. That's all, Network 2 at 9:30. Well, they came, they saw, and they conquered. First the minor, then the senior. The Cats still have got the cream. Until later, bye-bye.